Have you ever felt that you're on top of everything? Everything is going so well, you're highly dependable, you look like you're functioning very well, but inside you're spiraling, you're just clenching your jaw, you're just like, "Ugh, I can't take this anymore." But outside, you're showing everyone that you work very hard and that you're reliable. Have you ever actually felt that way? That, my friends, actually is high functioning anxiety. We usually talk about anxiety, just anxiety, in the context of social anxiety, panic attacks, or all those simpler ones that we know about. But do we actually speak enough about high functioning anxiety? Let's talk about it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome once again to another episode of Cognitalks with Sharon. Today, we are talking about high functioning anxiety. How well are you aware? I don't know if my mic is, but I think it is. Yes, it is. How well aware are you of high functioning anxiety? Do you actually know what it is? So, high functioning anxiety is one of those things that are least spoken about because we're fully aware of what anxiety itself is. We know what panic attacks are, we know what social anxiety is, and just hiding away because you feel anxious. Maybe you don't want to face certain situations because you feel anxious. But what then when it comes to high functioning anxiety? Sometimes anxiety does not look like hiding, like with panic attacks and social anxiety and all. Sometimes anxiety in the form of high functioning anxiety looks like overachieving. Putting yourself under a lot of pressure to work, always trying to be a perfectionist. I've got to look good, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I remember when I once started a certain new job in the past, and I always wanted to make sure that I'm achieving because I'm new, I need to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. And I remember I would go to bed with my laptop and I would be working very hard, doing nothing because I was anxious. And then I would go back to work the next day with the same problem that I had the previous day. High functioning anxiety tends to do this to us guys. And then you find that people are usually saying to you, "Oh, you've got it all together. Oh, you're such a hard worker. You're so perfect." But actually, inside, you are like screaming, you're spiraling, and you're clenching your jaw. So, let's talk more about it. What signs can we actually look out for when we talk about high functioning anxiety? Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the signs of high functioning anxiety. Look at me trying to say high functioning social anxiety. High functioning anxiety. There we go. All right. Okay, so one of the signs that you most likely would experience is working under so much pressure, trying to get everything done, but nothing's ever done. Because you're anxious, you can't even fully focus on your work, you can't fully be present there and do your work properly because of the anxiety. High functioning. I need to look good. I need to perform. I need to make sure it's perfect. That is actually one of the first signs. I've got my notes. I don't want to leave out some of the points. Okay, this one a lot of us do. A lot of us do this point. You obsessively overplay conversations that you've had with people in your head. You keep asking yourself, "Oh, how did I sound? Did I sound bad? Did I sound good? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have said, maybe." Guys, tell me you don't do that. Tell me that you don't do that because I do that sometimes. But I've learned actually to be at a place where I can say, "It's fine. The conversation was had and I'm here now. It's done." Like, it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you try to fix it, try to send a message to the person afterwards, I feel like you're just making matters worse. I've even had experiences with people where we would have a conversation, right? And then we would like just flow with it, flow. From my point of view, I'm like, okay, the conversation's fine. But then the person comes back after a while and they try to start speaking more. They try to go back to that conversation and they would be like, yeah, last time when we had that conversation, what I meant was I was trying to. And I'm just like, we're done with that. We're past that. And that's the thing, guys. People are not thinking about whether you said it correctly or whether you didn't say it correctly. We had the conversation. Let them have their thoughts. Fine. They're not going to change your life. It's not going to affect your life, honestly. So go with it. Just go with it and take it easy on yourself. Stop replaying those conversations. They just increase and keep feeding that anxiety, right? And then the next point or the next sign that you should look out for in terms of high functioning anxiety is always saying yes, because you are anxious that if you say no, people won't like you, or they'll think you're an underachiever, or they'll think you're lazy. You always just find yourself saying yes. Sharon, can you help me with this task, please, this project? Because you're sort of like an expert at it, and sure, because I want to showcase my skills. I want to show off that indeed I am an expert at this. But actually, you're busy, you're swamped. You have to say no. You don't always have to say yes, right? And I think that honestly, that also is another one that a lot of us struggle with. And I think I spoke about it also when I spoke about burnout. I spoke about always saying yes and how we need to learn to say no in most situations. Okay. And another one is you're always early. You're anxious that if I arrive late, everyone will be sitting, they'll be judging me, they'll look at me walking late. Guys, I have a friend, she knows herself, and I can talk about her because she's my best friend. She is always late. She doesn't, and I'm not going to say she doesn't care, but she doesn't care. The joys of having friends, guys. Like, you know that your friend is not going to take offense, and we can joke about certain things. So she, okay, let me put it like, work starts at 8:30. My friend arrives at work at 10. And she acts like it's okay, it's normal, nothing's wrong. When we have to go somewhere, like on a date or we have to travel, we will plan for 7 o'clock. My friend will arrive at 9 o'clock, guys. The date will start late because of her. So, because we've been friends for over 10 years and I know her very well, I always tell her that if, for example, if we should meet at 10 o'clock, I will tell her that we're meeting at 9 o'clock. Because I know she's arriving at 10 o'clock, guys. The reason why I had to use my friend as an example, because I think I'm talking too much about her now, is because she is someone who, to me, looks like she's not struggling with high functioning anxiety, because she takes things for what they are. She looks at a situation and she's like, it is what it is. If I'm late, it's fine. I'm not going to die. It's not going to hurt anyone. As long as it's not hurting anyone, as long as it's not hurting me, I'm okay with it. So that's my friend. And actually, she has a job and she runs her own business on the side, which means that she's actually managing everything quite well. But the being late thing, guys, no. I always tell her about it. Like, no, guys, you have an important meeting one day and it starts at 9 and you're there arriving at 10. But that's not the point. The point is the high functioning anxiety issue. Someone who's not dealing with it and what it actually looks like. Take situations for what they are, handle them with ease, and be kind to yourself, right? Okay, the next point is you feel guilty actually for relaxing, because you're thinking in your head, oh my goodness, I still have to do this, I still have to do that, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. And you're always feeling guilty, and you shouldn't allow yourself to live that way, because it's actually hard on yourself, and you don't even allow your mind to rest, because your mind is always pacing, always thinking, always stressing out, right? So high functioning anxiety can actually, it can play a number on your mind, honestly. And the last point is you are terrified of failure. So you feel like if you fail, people will look at you somehow, they will judge you, they'll say, so Sharon can fail too. And then, oh, Sharon, but then you disappointed us, man. You're always on top of your game. Guys, please put yourself first, put your mental health first. Terrified of failure, even a small mistake will haunt you. You'll feel like, oh my goodness, what did I do? Right? And then I want to go further and discuss why it's very difficult to actually see or identify high functioning anxiety, right? Because high functioning anxiety actually, it hides behind achievements. It hides behind the hustling culture. Why do we allow ourselves to go through that? So sometimes, or most times, like I said earlier, you find that you're actually really struggling with something, but because you put so much pressure on yourself, you try so hard to be perfect, you always look like you've got it together, and everyone's just like, he's got it together. So my question now is, are we confusing functionality with success? Are we confusing the two? Because sometimes you're really just being functional, but actually you're not coping. So can we look at those things? Can we really assess ourselves when it comes to high functioning anxiety? Because it's actually, it can take a toll on you, right? It can. Another thing that I actually want to go into is in our brains, what actually goes on when we are actually dealing with high functioning anxiety? What's going on in our brains? You ask yourself, you say to yourself stuff like, I should be doing more. Is your brain, do you feel when you, as someone who might be dealing with high functioning anxiety, do you find yourself seated and relaxed at any point? Or is your mind always pacing? Are you always asking yourself questions like, if I mess this up, I'm going to disappoint everyone? Yeah, maybe I should just keep working. Maybe I should just keep performing. It takes like, guys, rest. We need to rest. Okay, what actually helps when you need to actually deal with high functioning anxiety? You need to first recognize it, name it, say, this is high functioning anxiety that I'm dealing with, and I don't know why. This is high function. The minute you realize that it's high functioning anxiety and you name it, you have taken the first step. And then the second step is to ask yourself, what is this fear that I have? What is it that's making me feel this way and behave this way? Why do I have to be this way? Why am I always anxious? Why do I feel like I always have to perform? You need to ask yourself those questions. And after that, you need to allow yourself to rest. Because you've identified that it's actually high functioning anxiety that you're dealing with, and you've also allowed yourself to come to a place of rest where you can actually rest, then what you do is you're like, no, actually, I'm going to rest. You've assessed the fear. You've assessed the fear. You've identified the high functioning anxiety. You come to a place where you're like, no, actually, I need to rest. And you will get your rest. And once you get your rest, your thoughts will be more aligned. Your thoughts will be kinder to you. Okay? So after the rest, what do? You start doing the bare minimum because you're trying to take it easy. You set minimal goals. You take it easy. Don't take huge chunks. It's like when you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight, you're not going to eat a full plate. You eat in small portions every now and then, giving your stomach enough time to digest what you've eaten. Okay? So you set healthy boundaries and you take it step by step. Whenever you feel like you might be relapsing, please talk to someone. Whenever mental or wherever mental health issues are concerned, it's very important to have an accountability person in your life. Not that these people are responsible for you, Not that these people are responsible for you, but just help me be accountable. You love me, you care for me. Please help me be accountable. Right? Yeah. And one more final thing that I need to say that I wrote down, I want to share, is ask, what would life look like if you didn't have to earn your worth by constant doing? What would life look like? Wouldn't it be so much better? Wouldn't you just be able to just be yourself? If you want my friend's contact, she's very nonchalant. You know what? Ask me and I'll share her contact with you, and she will teach you how to not have high functioning anxiety. Because that's just about how she goes on with her life, and it helps. It's really good. I'm someone who has struggled with high functioning anxiety, and honestly, I don't think that it's something that you struggle with and it goes away. You might deal with it. That's why I'm like, you might find yourself relapsing, and that's when you need someone to speak with, right? So I do sometimes, most times actually, I get into a healthy pattern. And once I'm in that healthy pattern, I stay for a while. But after a while, I find myself with new tasks and I'm highly anxious and I'm performing. I'm giving those, I'm submitting things, I'm performing, I'm meeting deadlines, but it's taking a toll on me. I don't want to look like a failure. I'm actually doing those things because I don't want to look like a failure. And that's why I think it's easy for me to actually speak about high functioning anxiety, because it's something that I myself go through. I need to perform. I need to do this. And sometimes when I take that Sabbath for myself, you will see I literally disappear. I'm just not there. And that's when, but then when I'm there, when I'm in my Sabbath, I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm failing. I'm wasting so much time doing nothing. And actually, that's rest and it's healthy and it's needed. But it's an ongoing journey. We're not perfect, but we strive to be. But we don't have to be perfect. We can do our best, and that's okay. All right. If my content speaks to you in any kind of way, I encourage you to please like, subscribe, and share. And also, if by sharing and subscribing and liking, you might, not you might, you will get more content from me and we can even engage more. You guys can even share topics that you feel like you would like to delve deeper into, and I can have those chats here. If you want a live chat on Instagram, we can have a live, we can collaborate. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.